All right, here we go. Episode 50. Big number 50, half-century boys of Get Into Gates. We are the Get Into Gates team.
Hey, where's your soundboard, man?
I told you I
He
retired
retired
it.
it.
Tried it for season 3.
I got
that was
so
a
much
joke.
hate. No, I got so much hate. I retired it
From who?
from you guys.
Oh, that was a joke.
Jeez, that come out of the lead box pretty
Yeah.
quick.
John Farnham.
I retired it. Bam, 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 bam.
We are the full Get Into Gate team here to talk about season 3, episode 6, Point of View. My name is Mitch. Joining me, as always, the full team, Matty Gibson.
Hey. Sorry,
So excited to be here, guys.
I had a drink of water and I just forgot to breathe while I was doing it. So.
Brendan, water-free, how are you?
Oh, fantastic.
And Reese, you're under the desk, but how you doing?
Just having a little stretch. You know what I mean? Yes, mate, I'm spectacular.
I wasn't the only one with a mouthful when I spoke before.
Episode 50 starts at Area 51.
Oh, love it. Imagine if this was episode 51. That would have been good.
Good year, good year.
And as we do each and every week, let's refer to the 90s DVD to find out the synopsis. And if it's going to follow suit for season 3, how they're going to weave in O'Neill into this
Oh, yeah.
two-line synopsis. I haven't read ahead yet, so let's have a look. Alternate reality versions of Carter and Kowalski are found in Area 51. Brought to Stargate Command, they start to deteriorate. However, return to their own reality means certain death, as their world has been invaded by Gould.
How will Jack save the day?
Yeah, may as well be.
I got a little riddle for you.
Ooh.
How
Have to
did...
start it, preface it with, riddle me this.
Riddle me this. How do you kill yourself without committing suicide?
Step through a quantum mirror.
Boom! Right there.
Hey.
Tilk killed himself.
Got it.
Hey, wasn't that hectic?
That was
There you
Join
go.
Me Teal'c.
I kind of wish it was the ponytail Teal'c from
Yeah,
There But the Grace of
Yeah.
God.
but then they would have
Rather
had to
than
have a
goatee
fake
Teal'c.
ponytail as well.
Well, they put the fake goatee on him.
Yeah, they had that in the storage unit.
in,
That's what I thought. I'm like,
in their fake makeup disguise kit that they've
Yeah.
got
God.
on base for some reason.
every alternative
Let's-
teal cat there has
Yeah.
facial
He's
hair.
pretty smooth. He's a smooth guy.
Apophis's goatee was terrible.
Yeah.
You could see the
Oh,
glue.
Sam's wig, you could see the line on the top of her forehead where
Yeah.
it was glued down.
Yeah, you think they would just put extensions in rather than a full-blown wig?
Yeah.
Yeah, more expensive.
But, yeah.
for
Carter's
extension.
long hair's just wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of
Wait
dig
till
it.
season 5 hair, season 6 hair, that's when Carter's at her peak, hair-wise.
Yeah.
It was.
Season 3 and 4, I thought.
Oh, we're in season 3.
Or the end of this season and season 4.
No, isn't season 4 when she goes like super
I thought
short?
that was
Like short back and
6.
sides?
I thought that was 6.
What's the one when she gets possessed by like the electric entity? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when she gets like the super short
Anywho,
G.I. Jane.
hey, when that opening shot when the mirror came active, I was like so excited to see Kowalski that I didn't even realize that was Carter with long hair. And I was sitting there watching it with my missus, and I'm like, and it wasn't until they got out of the mirror into our dimension where I'm like, oh shit,
You're like,
that's
"Oh,
Carter.
shit, it's Carter.
She's like, well, you didn't notice. I'm like, no, Kowalski. He's back.
So it got to that point where well, they asked to stay, didn't they? Did they ask to stay
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
this world? Did you actually think there was a chance? Obviously not Carter, and once she started to deteriorate, because I actually found myself, again, watching this for the first time in 10 or 15 years. I knew Kowalski wasn't sticking around, but I can imagine a new viewer, or even myself at the time, thinking they might write Kowalski back into this show via this storyline, but Carter has to die off because there can't be two of her in the same reality. Did you think Kowalski was going to stick around at all, or you just thought that's just a bit of dialogue? And
No,
he's
I
gone and...
like that, but that's an interesting concept, and I would have loved to see that happen. But yeah, no, I thought, obviously Carter too couldn't stay, and I thought Kowalski wouldn't leave her behind or like send her away just to stay there for himself, because he's like that military guy, and he's it's as he said, it's his best mate's wife, and it was just them two coming through. So, I didn't think that they were gonna stay, but it was a pretty interesting concept when Hammond just made the call, and he's like, yeah, they can stay. We just got the go ahead, and I'm like, well, that's not going to work. But how are they going to retcon that?
They're going to need to get a better wig for tapping if
Yeah.
Because I started thinking ahead, had they have done that in an alternate reality, hardly enough this show had have done that, what that would have meant for Carter 2.0 and our version of Jack. Like, 'cause she's in love with Jack O'Neill of her world. Now, by the end of the episode, she's like, "Wow, it really isn't you, is it?" She knows that personality-wise, it's not the way that he shows physical affection from it is not the same guy. But she doesn't have to go off-world. She is an on-world, in-world scientist or whatever.
And she's non-military.
Non-military, so they would have been able to have a relationship.
Yeah.
Would they have been able to play around with the fact that he works with Carter 1, but is having this relationship with Carter 2 at home? Like, how weird this show could have gotten if he's not in love with one version, but is he? Because she's the original Carter, and fans of the show want to see that. But but
fans of the show want to see Jack, Carter 1 and Carter 2.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Absolutely.
But then Kowalski, what I love about this actor is that he, you think about the character's been around forever because he was in the movie, but then that actor was only in episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Or the pilot, and then The Enemy Within. He was in Gamekeeper.
Yeah.
And then this. Is that all? He's only been in 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's right.
5 if you split the pilot into 2. But he comes back into this, and when he's talking about Jack being his best friend and all, he just picks up where he left off. It's like he is a series regular, and they have this chemistry all the time because he just comes in, again, once a year, and I'm like, I believe that's it's the same Kowalski as I saw 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Within the show, which is really cool. So I would have maybe liked to have seen him return to the show because I do like the idea of the character of Kowalski. We've never really gotten to know him, but just hearing about the backstory that these two have known each other for a long time, they obviously trust each other a lot. That it would have been cool to maybe, even if he would have died off in 6 or 7 episodes.
Having a name to the guy who's in charge of SG2 would be kind of okay.
Yeah.
That'd
Someone
be
that you care about.
Because all the rest of the SG teams are like, meh.
Yeah.
Like, you never care
Yeah.
at all. And
True.
It'd be nice to get like a Team B who goes and rescues SG1 or vice versa.
It'd be a good idea for a modern reboot spin-off show, wouldn't it? Just
Absolutely.
seeing other SG teams go through the gate and seeing their
Could call it Stargate
adventures.
Command.
Yeah.
SGA.
Yeah. SGA.
Imagine if that was actually how they brought Stargate back. They could still do it after Origins or instead of Origins, had they have done an SGA and we were in an
Or
alternate
Catherine
world
goes
or something.
through the mirror in Origins.
Yeah.
Oh.
So-
plot twist.
We're ruining it for everyone. Spoilers.
I would have liked to have seen something like a couple of episodes. Don't want to bang on it too much, but if both Carters stayed and Jack did get with her and then maybe the original died, and then you're like having to deal with that, it would have been too Farscape-ish. But
Well, and I feel like they're downgrading too. If you killed off our Carter
yeah, you're right.
for civilian Carter, that's a severe downgrade.
Yeah,
As I said, O'Neill, ours is the only reality of consequence.
yeah, good call.
I just
Yeah.
love that,
So
he goes to that other world. And he's just like, "F all these people." It's like,
Yeah. I don't
you're
give a
here to
shit.
help. But he's
Kill
like,
myself,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
like,
ain't my life.
I know either this guy was
be only one.
like this Teal'c was either going to stay evil or hadn't yet come to the realization that he should abandon Apophis.
He didn't even give him
Either
a
way,
second.
He had a goatee. He was always going to be
He
evil.
just killed another version of his son's father. Like,
Oh, yeah,
there's another
totally.
son of his out there in an alternate world, and he's just taken away that father.
He knew the
right.
risks.
Yeah, but it's like, this
Well,
guy.
I mean,
The only
He's-
one that can
if-
defeat me is me.
If you had to marry
Surprise.
Dreyarch, you know he was doing him a favour.
Yeah, good call.
Rather be dead.
Dreyarch 1 or 2?
Oh, Dreyarch 2, obviously. Dreyarch 1 was a bit of fun.
Teal'c.
Dreyarch 2, though, hook it up with Frotac. Who needs
Yeah.
that?
Who has a silver emblem? Jesus.
And a skirt.
So, story, Glasner, Wright, Cooper, and of course, Tor Alexander Valenza. And then Glasner wrote it, directed by Peter DeLuise. Now, I don't think I've seen that. We definitely haven't seen it before with so many fingers in the pie.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it a case of too many chefs in the kitchen?
Well, I actually
Yeah.
started worrying when I saw all those names pop up. I'm like, oh, I don't remember this being a clip show because I thought it was
Yeah, I
going
was
to be
gonna
those
say,
ones
that's
the
where
last
time we
they're
saw
taking
it.
samples.
Yeah.
Right.
Excerpts written by.
Yeah.
I like that they had so many story creators, but only one writer. Because obviously, I mean, having two different dimensions and the different results that would happen depending on what you do and where you go throughout the episode, you'd need that many people to sort of keep track of different things. And I think, like, obviously, there's better to have 4 of us than 2 of us.
Yeah, and it might have just been the case of them sitting around the writer's room going, okay, let's come up with ideas on what we can see through the mirror. And
Yeah.
then, Valenza threw out a couple, Cooper threw out a couple, and like, all right, we'll throw you story credit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was almost, I prefer There But For the Grace of God compared to this. like I know Matty had a major problem with There But For the Grace of God for plot holes, but I feel that these plot holes were gaping. For instance,
Yeah, I find I think I mustn't hate There But For the Grace of God. I think I must just hate the quantum mirror because
Yeah.
I felt very. I guess I probably aggressively dislike There But For the Grace of God more as a whole story. This one was very much one false step. I was kind of just like, meh. When Teal'c's
Yeah.
like, ours is the only universal consequence, I was like, hell yeah, boy! I'm like, that's
Yeah.
me all over.
and yeah, that's true. This episode, I never know where it sits in the series either because it's such a standalone and it's so at a random point. You're like, what was
Yeah.
the point of it? Nothing. It just goes back to the normal equilibrium. They didn't get anything
Yeah,
out
it's like
of
an
it.
episode of The Simpsons. It just resets at the end. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, there was. I think maybe if there'd been another little scene at the end of our Carter and Jack kind of reconciling the fact that Jack made out with Carter too, and them sort of. I
Even-
mean, it
yeah,
is a bit
just
early
to-
for them to acknowledge any feelings towards each other, and accept the fact that they can't do anything about it because they're both in the military working together. I mean, if they're both in the military and she's posted somewhere else or he's posted somewhere else, they can have a relationship,
Right.
but they can't be on the same team in the same base and have a relationship.
Yeah.
Having said that, and you can drop one here for me, Mitch, is in Star Trek they did that at like the end of season 2 with the captain and the first officer, where the first officer's like, "I'm keen on you," and she's like, "Nah."
Yeah, that's cool.
In
It is
Voyager.
good that they're able
Yeah.
to.
Oh yeah.
Remember when they're
Explore
stuck on the planet?
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
got the virus, and
Oh,
he's like,
I was hoping they'd get it
"Let's
on.
go to Pound Town in the bathtub ability."
Absolutely.
Downtown.
Pound town to the bathroom.
No, in the bathtub.
Oh,
that he bought
bathtub,
for her,
sorry.
and they
Yeah.
made for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sounded like a cool sentence. Let's go Pound Town to the bathtub.
It's a nightclub around the corner.
I loved how when Kowalski first got there and he saw Tilk and he like full went to attack him
Yeah.
and Tilk's just sitting there staring at him, didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Bitch, please.
yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Man.
Lieutenant Johnson came at him and he just grabbed his fist. Like,
Yeah.
what's Kowalski
Nudge
gonna
to harm
do?
you.
Yeah.
That dude was huge.
And then
Teal'c was the one that helped kill Kowalski. He was the one that held him
Yeah, he did kill
yeah.
him.
yeah,
because
that's
it was
right.
Teal'c going, "Teal'c, hold him," or something,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, true.
Tilk
Yeah,
killed
right.
him.
If only Teal'c's no.
I've already killed you.
I will
This
kill
is
you
the only
again.
reality of consequence.
And then I thought it was sweet how all the foot soldiers just like stepped in and all just pointed their guns at him.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Oh.
hey, that's Tilk. You don't touch Tilk. He's the
Yeah.
boss around here.
but later, when it's like a secret briefing and they're all talking about what to do,
Yeah.
there's 3 airmen at the door and Kowalski just
Just hanging
waltzes
out.
in.
Sneaks
Yeah.
in.
It's like, what
And it's
the
like he's
guys?
clearly heard the previous sentence because he walks in and
Yeah.
replies to it, and then Hammond's like, "This is a classified briefing."
Yeah.
It's like, well,
But sit down.
Yeah, these
They
guys
just
didn't
open
stop me.
door and 2 guards there doing nothing.
Yeah,
there
like,
should have been 2
there
other
was
doors
3.
we couldn't get to.
There was 1 outside and there was 2 either side of the door.
Yeah.
And you
And
could have
you-
just walked up the stairwell as well and just heard the entire thing from the open stairwell. It's really a bad briefing
Yeah.
room for
Yeah.
classified
Terrible.
meetings.
Yeah, the voices
You
go
know.
go down the stairwell into
Yeah,
the control
everyone-
rooms. So
yeah.
everyone can hear.
Everyone, I just want to see a cutaway, like every time, like Jack and Daniel and Hammond are having like a big science versus military
Yeah.
discussion. It's like everyone can hear it in the gate room. They're just going, "Oh, they're at it again. Have a
Yeah.
listen to that."
Just
Oh,
cuts-
did you see what
cuts to
Daniel said?
Walter.
Shit.
looking at Pretty Boy Cumface and just like, oh, check this out.
Oh.
Writes in his diary.
Yeah.
Confrontation.
Reese,
I want to go to my
I'll write that
desk
down.
in the meeting room right now, but I cannot.
Reese mentioned that he didn't notice that Carter was there in that opening scene when we sort of panned through Area 51.
Did you notice?
Did you notice some of the other little bonus extras in there?
No, I was trying to look around because I'm like, oh, because I remember thinking, no,
Pans very
they'd
quick.
have props
Yeah.
here from other episodes and whatnot.
It
but
was just a props warehouse. Let's be
Yeah, it
frank.
was.
Yeah.
'Cause There was
Yeah.
there was a gamekeeper chair.
Yeah.
That we
yeah.
did Pam us, we saw that.
Yeah.
And apparently we've got a vacuum. We've got one of the FaceTime
FaceTime
balls.
spheres,
One of the
yeah.
big ones.
Oh, right.
All right.
Yeah, that was sitting in Area 51 as well. I was like,
Yeah.
shit, when did we get that?
Where did we get that from?
And almost feel like
It's just a prop room, bro.
well,
totally
but
is.
that's the thing though, is Brendan, you were saying this kind of episode just kind of sits in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
In about 3 or 4 episodes time, we have the opportunity to get a vacuum and take it back to Earth
Right.
with rules of engagement.
Yep.
So I'm like, I almost wonder if
Yeah,
they were
cool.
maybe shot out of order or
Yeah,
something
good
like that.
point.
Because at the end of that episode, we're definitely in a position to take a vacuum and study it on, because we definitely didn't get the one from Apophysis' ship.
Yeah.
It could have survived like that explosion. Or maybe it's
Yeah.
just, you know,
Unless Daniel took it with him.
SG9 just bringing the goods again.
And again, it cuts to like the sub characters at nighttime. They're using that sphere to play like Nintendo on or something.
Interdimensional
Yeah,
World of Warcraft.
I'm using
playing
it to
Age of Empires with the Nox. Let's talk plot holes. What do we got? I'm excited because you had a whole book ready to go.
I
Yes,
did.
it's normally me, so this is quite interesting. I can't wait to hear
Yeah,
this.
let's shit on it.
Well, the major issue that I have is Dr. Carter says that the Asgard built the generator, but it was in fact Jack that built that generator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was
Um,
technically an Asgardian at the time.
No, he was ancient.
Yeah. Well, Reese doesn't know that term yet, but there
It
is...
was ancient knowledge in his head.
Yeah, there's a whole point
Right.
in that
It was the gate
episode
builders.
where Daniel's like, it's the gate builders, because he's studying that language that isn't the Norse runes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's clear that yes, it's a member of the four race alliance,
Yeah.
but not the Asgard. So yeah, it's a very interesting sort of omission by Carter.
Yeah.
Does she know that it's not the
Well,
ancients, though?
that's the only but they didn't correct her.
Maybe she's dumb like me.
No.
Well, remember though, she was
No one's that dumb.
she was stuck on the desert planet, and then Jack had to write all the plans by the gate
Yeah.
builders to then.
Yeah. Yeah,
her-
well, it
Yeah,
had
right.
nothing
Give her
to
away
do
the-
with
Do
the
they
Asgardian.
know who
Asgardians.
built the gates? Yeah.
They don't know yet. They just know
no.
it was one of the members of these four great races
Well, there
of
you
the
go.
alliance, but not the Asgard.
They know it's not the Asgard.
Yeah, because remember, we know that the Asgard language is Norse runes, and
Right,
Daniel
yeah.
recognizes that.
Yeah.
But then he also recognized Tanya writing or whatever it was of like the dots and stuff. Remember, he was
Yeah.
translating the place of our legacy and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. Well, like that's a different language to Thor's language.
Yeah.
So we know it's definitely not Asgard, but it is one of the four great races.
Yeah, and at the end of the fifth race, they say the ancients, the
Oh, they do
Furlings.
too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fixed the two Carters fixed the generator in 5 minutes.
Was that a different prop too, or did they just add stuff to it?
I think they just must have lost it or
Because
it
it
looked
looks
different.
totally. Because the one from Fifth Race looks very much like a ZPM,
Yeah.
but this one has like big antennas coming off it and
Yeah.
weird. Bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's stuff that the Carters added to it.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
at
so.
its core, it was
How
the same
similar
prop,
was it
or...
to the thing they were working on last week with Marin? Was it from?
Oh, very,
the
very
Nakoda
different to the
generator.
Nakoda
very different. But
generator.
Yeah.
was it the same sort of thing they were working on? Like that's what because that's what I thought. I think just watching these episodes
No.
back to
Remember
back.
in the fifth race when he put it on there and they could go to the other galaxy?
Yeah.
A Nakoda
Yeah.
generator couldn't generate that much
No,
power.
the Nakoda
Yeah.
generator is kind of the two balls with the shaft in the middle. I regretted it
Wow.
halfway
I mean,
through.
and you
Yeah,
can
you knew
grab
when
the
you said
knob
it.
and twist
I just-
it
yeah,
to
you
turn it
grab
off.
and twist it to turn it
And
on.
just feel
Turn
the
it on,
power.
buddy. Turn it on, buddy. You grab and twist to turn it on
Strap
and feel the
yourself in
power.
and feel the cheese.
Oh, shit.
No, because I know
That's
last
why they
week.
call it a gate buster.
Again, I was thinking of them being the same thing. So when this popped
Yeah.
up in this episode, I'm like, thank God that they've already established, even just last week, that they've already been working on something like this, and
No,
it took
so
two Carters.
Yeah.
But
two different
in this
things.
episode,
Yeah, right,
this
okay.
is they've
well,
taken,
now I've got problems with it as
yeah,
well.
they've taken Jack's power source from Fifth Race
Yeah.
and tried to re-energize it because they
Yeah.
said it was only good for 1 year. So
Yeah.
they've tried to re-energize that by doing stuff to it.
Which I completely forgot about during the start of this rewatch. And so the thing is, they go to the alternate reality. She goes to the Asgard homeworld, and for whatever reason, the Asgard decide to interfere, even though they don't have a treaty with Earth. So in reality, Asgard could be like, we don't care. It's not our problem.
Yeah, no, alternative Thor could be an
yeah, well,
arsehole.
we didn't have a treaty when Jack went there, though. Like,
Yeah,
the
but
only-
we had a relationship already through Thor's chariot and whatnot. They know about us.
Yeah, so they still know that we have the potential to be the fifth race. So
Yeah,
they're like, shit,
I
we got to
kind
protect
of-
that.
I kind of feel like
You're not
what-
in that well. Well,
I kind of
they
feel like
could, but
Carter 2 had to jump through that gate to wherever, if they went to, Othala in the galaxy of Ida. And she's like, okay, so I'm from an alternate reality, but this is my reality, but the alternate reality people, they've given me this tech. We're the Tari, we're the origin of where all the humans came from, the Ghoul. We're trying to fight the Ghoul. They're about to kill our planet. We're the Tari, help save us, because this other version of us has contacted you and we need your help.
Yeah.
And I feel like
so
there's
they
a
got
lot of
it's like,
off-screen
come
stuff
this
that
way.
had
We've
to
got
happen.
a special room we're going to put you in.
Yeah.
And then Thor's
Take your
chariot.
shoelaces off.
Thor's chariot comes from a galaxy different galaxy after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And lands on the mountain and starts destroying
Yeah, but Asgard. Come
all
on,
the.
man.
Doesn't work.
Well, it wasn't necessarily Thor. I guess
No,
I
it
mean,
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
At
have
this
to be.
early stage, I think Thor is just tooling around our galaxy, and then where Jack went, that wasn't Thor. That was a couple of other Asgard.
Yeah.
On their home planet. But yeah, obviously they would have had to have got Carter 2 back to Earth somehow via gate or star or ship or whatever, and then the ship had to come and scoop everybody up. So yeah, it's it's
So even putting that aside, we win, right? Earth wins the war because of the Asgard, but they never decide to go and grab the generator back out and take it back to our reality.
yeah,
It's like, that could
yeah,
be
so we've lost
useful
that
to
now.
get to another galaxy, especially now you know how to fix it.
Yeah,
And we never saw it again.
yeah. I'll tell you the main problem. I'll tell you the main problem I had with this episode, and it was the whole entropy Carter fritzing thing.
Not medical, temporal, entropic cascade failure. On the cellular level? Yes.
Of course.
That would take years, not days. So it's a side effect of travel through the quantum mirror.
Then why don't I have it?
I'm guessing Dr. Carter has because I'm here.
Because-
The increased entropy generated by both of us existing in the same reality might theoretically be causing a temporal
Not
distortion.
theoretical anymore.
That just makes no sense. It's just bullshit. Oh my.
That's Bill Nye, the science
Oh.
guy. Oh, really? Yes.
Sounded like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
When I found that online, I was like, "Oh, I'm totally
Oh,
using
that's
that."
Yeah, keep that.
Man, you guys are shitting on this episode, but I fucking loved it.
No, I think I enjoyed it the first time, but it was just the rewatchability is like hard to swallow, especially when you know what's happened after.
I've got a note here that says, "I legit don't remember the last time I watched this episode.
no.
I always skip
It's
it."
such a strange episode, just plopped wherever. I couldn't remember if it was 3 or 4. I actually forgot. I'm going, point of view, which one's that? And it was this.
And then it really is the end of this whole thing, because doesn't Hammond say at the end that they're going to destroy the quantum mirror?
Yeah, he said you're
Yeah.
ordered
Yeah.
to destroy it when you come
So
back.
Okay,
it's like-
SG1, we're never doing one of these episodes again.
Yeah.
Destroy
so
the
it's
mirror.
like this
And that,
did-
yeah, they confirmed that it was destroyed in season 8 in Ripple Effect.
yeah, so it's like this wasn't even really a sequel to There But For the Grace of God. It was kind of just like a, let's go back to this, and because there's infinite, universes, let's have fun with it again, but then destroy it at the end, so we can't do it again.
And it was very much
yeah.
a mirror type episode. Anyway, the fact that in that episode, there for the grace of God, we're the fish out of water going to them, and in
yeah.
this episode, it's like, well, what would we
Yeah.
do if we suddenly have people coming to us telling us all this shit that they don't necessarily
And
believe or
the goatees are very much, I'll get to that too, is very much a Star Trek reference, in that when Kirk goes to the evil mirror universe, evil version of him and Spock have the little goatees, and that's what they were honouring by giving Apophis that terrible
Spock
goatee.
goatees. Pretty
I feel like Apophis is worse.
maybe.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and that's made in the 90s.
I
That's
mean, you asked for it. I got to
Yeah,
put it in there
I've got to put
contractually.
it. I've got to put it.
Yeah, no, I do like this episode too, Reese. I think I just love alternate reality type stories, with movies, TV, even just singular things that have no great impact, like we've been saying on the series. But I just found myself wondering what was going through their mind when they were on their knees in front of Apophis. His men are about to kill them, and I'm like,
why do we do this?
You're about to die, man, on another planet that has no impact on your own. You were just doing it because you're a nice guy or nice people, but you're about to be killed right now. Like, this sucks, Tell said, our reality is the only one of consequences. Well, but not if you're dead.
Yeah.
But as much as his goatee might have sucked, it's just so cool seeing Apophis again, because even though he's, kind of been written away for a while, just to see him, 3 weeks ago, we had three System Lords come into the SGC. Combined, they aren't as cool as Apophis. I fucking love Apophis.
Nowhere near as
he comes in,
menacing.
says 3 words, and stands over and says Sholva, whatever, and then runs away like a pussy. When the Asgard show up, I'm like, you're still a boss, man. He's fucking awesome. I love Apophis.
I actually think Apophis does more episodes in flashback after he's dead than he actually ever did when he was alive.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure. If we worked it all out, because he's in the show up until season 8 or season 9, I think, but most of them are flashbacks.
Wow.
It's flashbacks and
So he's actually dead.
alternate realities, and you saw him die.
Yeah, but
It was left ambiguous. Yeah, for me, had you, I don't know, I didn't know where the cutoff was. I don't know
that's
where
what
the
Jack
cutoff
said.
is.
Oh,
So
we had you in
disappointing.
our reality, except you're dead.
You're
I was
dead.
like, oh yeah,
Dickhead.
that's sick.
Also, Hammond died. And we learned that the Asgard can bring back people
Yeah.
from death.
They're like,
That's sweet.
That's We can fix a
Yeah.
Zap Blast. Whatever.
Imagine that, though. They actually go back to real Thor and real Asgard from our reality and someone dies. It's like, bring him back to life. It's like, oh, we can't do that.
can't do
that.
We've fucking seen you do it, mate. Bitch, please.
Yeah.
You betrayed yourself
wonder if-
by showing us
I
yourself.
wonder if they can cure 3 Zap Blasts.
Yeah. Because Apophis, he got beamed up, didn't he, by the Asgard?
Yeah, scooped up,
Oh,
taken
yeah.
away.
So I wonder if they killed him.
Nah,
He's dead in both.
They're pretty benevolent. They don't.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, I suppose in our
Lame.
in our galaxy,
know.
universe, dimension, and whatever, Thor scooped all up Heroer's dudes
Yeah, that's
Shit.
on
true.
Samaria, and we just kind of assumed that he plopped them back on
Wherever
on,
they're
on
from.
one of their worlds somewhere.
Yeah, popped him back there and says, now you're a very naughty boy.
No.
Do not do it
Get
again.
off that planet.
Yeah.
We're taking your gate for 2 months.
Go sit in the naughty corner.
Of
Go
the
sit on the
galaxy.
naughty. Maybe there's a naughty planet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the shit planet.
The
It's
poo planet,
toilet
yeah.
planet.
the
Yeah.
toilet planet. That's where they had to go for 2 months.
Time out.
Yeah.
God, wouldn't that be sticky?
Oh, will that be a shit planet?
The only thing I had was when Daniel was playing with the mirror and Kowalski was teaching me how to do it. I just found it strange. Like, he knew that if you turn it off, you lose your place. So, wouldn't you take a blanket with you or something like that, and you just throw it over? Because Jack's going, kill it, kill it. And he's like, I can't.
I
He's like,
feel like Jack would have got in the briefing, like they should have told him. It's like, if we
Yeah.
turn it off, we can't find our own
Yeah.
universe again. And it's like,
yeah,
that's probably information Jack could have used prior
Yeah.
to leading this covert mission.
He's like, kill it.
Don't even need a blanket. Just turn the mirror fucking
I
around.
know.
Like, just turn it away from the
Yeah,
door.
Yeah,
Hey, it was interesting where he went to the dimension where they were actually sitting there waiting for him, and then he's like, "Oh shit, no, you're a captain," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's
it's like sliders.
and I'll tell you what, guys, I got to say, I appreciate the fucking hell out of you guys for not ruining that Carter gets a fucking promotion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's
It's
not even a
so
couple of
hard.
seasons.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how did you even do it?
That's
the whole
why I
series, she's major, pretty
Yeah,
much.
well, that's
Yeah.
why it's so,
So
hard.
hard.
to go back to Captain Carter instead of Major Carter,
Yeah.
because I'm so
Yeah.
used to saying Major Carter.
Because
So I
still,
forgot-
Major Carter's so foreign to me. I'm like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Major
Mate, it's
Carter.
fine to
that's-
me. I've seen all of SG1. I reckon I got to know her as Captain Carter and then just remembered her as Carter.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Sam.
That's
I
what I had
forgot
to
all
do.
about the major thing, or at least it happening that early.
But
Yeah.
the last 2.5 seasons, I've just been calling her Carter, because I couldn't put
Yeah.
a rank in there, because otherwise I thought I would ruin it for you.
Yeah.
It also did, I guess, raise for me, because whenever I hear about these, you watch movies with alternate realities and stuff, and they go, oh, there's an infinite, worlds of possibilities, but they're always just a little bit off what, Earth 1 is, basically.
Yeah.
The Earth
Ooh,
Alpha
careful, buddy.
from,
That's 2.
what?
Alpha.
DC reference.
Oh.
I don't think they have
Earth 1.
ownership over Earth 1, but yeah, no, okay, that's one. I need a marker. I need a marker. Damn it! But
And Brendan's is Cooper references.
Yeah.
I'm yet to pick one up.
Yeah, that's it.
But you think, well, surely that has an alternate history as well. Like, why do I exist in every alternate reality? Like, surely my parents didn't get together in a couple, my grandparents didn't get together in a couple. My line was killed off in the 1500s.
Yeah.
But then in this, and I'm like, oh, whatever. It's just, it has to exist for the sake of the show, right? So that people can interact with alternate versions of themselves. In this, they said at any given moment, there are an infinite number of possibilities. I'm like, well, does it make it easier or more confusing where you think, well, at this moment, there are an infinite amount of alternative realities to this moment. So that's why I found when he's there skimming through that little device trying to find our Earth,
Oh, yeah.
it was in the SGC in most of them. There was like one where it was like looking
On a
into
beach.
on
Which
a beach
was-
or
It
something,
was
right?
Fire
looking
and
on
water.
Nem's planet, yeah.
Yeah, right.
What,
Oh,
Fate
was it?
Amaroka?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's
it's just
cool.
a
Because I'm like,
snapshot.
otherwise, I'm like, so in every other reality, like even on ours, we've only had it for what, a year and a half. The device. But in every other
Yeah.
alternative world,
Yeah.
it's
And-
in the gate
And
room.
it's like
But I
with,
guess
with
it's
every minute that passes, there's that many more infinite
Yeah,
amounts
that's what I was going
of...
to say.
Yeah,
Since
there's-
they've gone through, there's now more realities.
there's
Yeah, 'cause there's more
infinities
choices that
basically.
happen.
Yeah, like
Because
it's
there's more forks in the road.
yeah,
Like Carter could have
Yeah.
come through, but she decided not to.
yeah,
Vice versa. Tilk mightn't have been there. Or
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like the remote was very generic, like just a little like...
Yeah.
Just switching. Just
Wouldn't
like,
it-
it's like finding a radio
oh,
station.
that's what I
It's like,
found.
nah.
I'm going, imagine if Daniel did get the right one, but Carter was just wearing her old uniform because it was laundry day.
Yeah. It's like as smart as Michelle is, he couldn't have come up with just like, just a channel up, channel down button.
Yeah.
Or
a frequency.
Or just a save button.
Yeah.
Like save preferences.
He's like, they go, there's an infinite amount of worlds.
It wasn't
and
Michello.
what are the chances you find it in the next 12 minutes? It's like, oh, there's the one I was looking for. Really? I just like, but when he did see Captain Carter, he's like, almost.
Yeah.
Holds
Yeah.
up his hand like, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Whereas she sees Daniel and then like her Daniel dies and never comes back. She's
Yeah.
like, I
Why
saw
didn't you
him. I
come
got
through?
that close. It's
Yeah.
like, you've just broken her heart. Teal'c, you've just made your son an orphan in that other world.
Yeah.
Like, we wrecked a lot of shit in the last 42 minutes.
Teal'c's son might have already been dead.
Well, that's true.
Hope
That's why he's
so.
angry.
Or just, I don't know what.
He ate his teeth in that
What's-
episode.
yeah, what's better, him never existing or him actually dying? I don't know what's better for me.
Ooh. Ask Trump.
I know we're running short on Jesus. I know we're running short on time, but there are a couple of little housekeeping things I do want to get through because I feel like we get in trouble if we don't mention them.
Cree.
Yeah, we get a breakdown of what Cree means.
All right, I gotta know. Yes, I'm about to activate it. No, not that. What the hell does Cree mean? Well, actually, it means a lot of things. Loosely translated, it means attention, listen up, concentrate. Yoo-hoo? Yes, in a manner of speaking.
Which I think is great, given that Into the Fire, when he's impersonating Gould, he's walking along that big battlefield going, "You, Cree, you heard me, Cree."
Yeah.
And he's only now just figuring out what it means. It's like he's just like, I've heard him say it, so I'll
It's
just
just like,
use it.
yeah, the only word that he knows. And
Classic Jack, though.
It was annoying with the alternate Teal'c just saying Jafar, Cree, and then just Jafar
Yeah.
was like a command. I'm like, that
Yeah.
means nothing.
Yeah.
Well, not really. Remember when you were little and your mum would just shout your name and you just knew what she wanted you to do?
Do you know what's hard for me as a kid?
No, I didn't do it.
Is
Yeah, but you knew what she wanted you to do.
I would think
so
my
you didn't
mum
do it.
was calling my name. I thought I'd hear "Mother." It was just her sneezing, and I come out of my room and I go, "What?" She goes, "I didn't call your name. I'll just bloody sneeze." I went, "Oh,
I said, at you.
yeah."
Can you say it? Can you sneeze differently, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Or change my name to Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc.
Just off the top of my head.
Well, it's like my mum is the only person who still refuses to call me Matt. So it's like she's the only one that calls me Matthew still.
Matthew.
So I'm just like, that's when I hear her sneeze, I think she's calling me, but
Call me high pitch,
not
Mum.
so much. Bit other bits housekeeping. Peter DeLuise, obviously, we know he does like to keep a little running gag of him having cameos in every episode. So he did have it in this episode. It was more audio than visual. We'll start with this one.
Look, I've told you this. Now let me talk to someone from the SGA.
SGA. There is no such organization.
So that's Peter
Well, then
DeLuise
you call it
debriefing
something
Carter.
else. The Stargate Project, Stargate Command.
Stargate. What do you know about the Stargate?
What do
What
you
do
know?
you
I
know?
know
about Stargate?
everything. We've been through
Sounds a bit
this.
like Loki.
Yeah.
Well, let's go through it again.
Oh, for crying out loud.
And I kept that in for you guys.
Yeah, that's
For
good.
crying out
For
loud.
crying out loud. Even Jack kind of goes, what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's my catchphrase.
My catchphrase, bitch. And then there's this other one that I don't know if it is him or not, but it kind of sounded like him.
Drop your weapons.
Drop your weapons.
Yeah.
Do it now.
That sounds like him putting on like a military
Yeah.
voice to me. So I think that was him just
Yeah.
putting in his little cameo. And I've saved this one to last because Mitch is going to turn my microphone off. But those pain sticks from that they hit Teal'c with are a total rip off from Star Trek. Klingons use them all the time. They're Klingon pain sticks, but they've ripped them off.
Turn his mic off, Mitch. Number 3.
Okay.
Come on.
The line has to be drawn here. This far and no further.
Done. I'm
Kill
out.
his mic.
Stay up.
That's I think that's the
but
first time his
those-
mic's actually been cut.
It is. Those sticks are called, funnily enough, the Rod of Anguish.
Klingon pain sticks.
Shut up,
What
Matty.
is that?
Rod of Anguish. It's not even a
my-
Goa'uld word.
Bloody
Okay.
Jack's Periscope makes another appearance. His little around the corner Periscope.
Oh, yeah.
So helpful.
I
He-
love,
yeah,
I
it
love
is.
that thing.
That was my dick too.
Shut up,
Matty, you're out.
You're out,
Get
bud.
out. Don't make us throw you out.
This is great, actually. Talk about Star Trek more
All
often.
right, right now, we've all agreed this is the only time in our whole series that we're going to be talking flat out about Star Trek.
Absolutely. So
boys.
I've been watching Next Generation.
Yes.
And
no, sorry, Matty, your microphone is off. I'm sorry, you can't join this conversation. I'm sorry.
And I got to say now that Jean-Luc Picard is easily the best captain in any Star Trek ever.
You're about to cop my rod of
Can we just break off? Talk about a current show. How amazing is Star Trek Discovery?
Discovery. So good.
Absolutely.
I feel like
so glad it's a prequel.
I'm so glad that I waited until now to start watching Star Trek on TV.
I'm so glad we're doing this. I know nothing about Star Trek, but I love the fact that Matty's so pissed off.
Discovery's not Star Trek, so you guys are fine.
Pretty sure it's called Star Trek Discovery. So
Can't hear you.
official.
Does it have a
canon.
colon
Break
in
your
it? I
knots.
hope it doesn't.
Yeah. We know how
Star
much.
Trek Beyond. Good gear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
If you guys want it, there's audio of
Nope.
Jack's cliche thing.
Did you hear something? No, me neither.
Pardon?
I've got a clip here about Jack O'Neill's cliches if we want to run that.
Thanks, Brenny.
We just left behind everyone we know, everyone we ever cared about. If you're not going to give us a second chance, I don't know any of you.
Well, exactly. You don't know any of us. And we don't know you. For all we know, you could be her evil twin. But then we'd be dealing with cliches, and you know how I feel about those. No, actually, you know how I feel about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for getting that, Brennan.
Yeah, no worries.
Because you were saying before that it actually starts off in this
It
episode.
does. It starts off here, and it's a recurring theme throughout the whole series. So
Nice. Good.
it's good to have it included.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
I mean,
Matt-
usually Matty has that sort of trivia, but
Yeah.
just not showing up today.
Yeah.
That's good to know, actually. Thank you for that,
Absolutely.
Brendan.
Oh, what a way. We waited 50 episodes and Matty's mic finally
yes.
got switched off.
That's
so
what we can
That's right, it's a
celebrate.
marker. It's a milestone, Matty. That's,
Absolutely.
you know.
Oh, so Matty actually hasn't reached the end of 50 episodes. You're still on 49 and a half.
He's like the Daniel of the group. He's away for half of the episode.
The unfortunate thing is I'm the only one in the room that's going to get that.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Actually, I think Matty and Brendan are the only ones. You've been here every episode, eh?
Yep.
Me and Mitch have been cut out of a few.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that is episode 50 of Get Into Gay. Thanks for joining us. If you have been with us from the start, thank you very much for supporting the show. If you've just joined us, you can go back all 50 episodes of Get Into Gate, plus a couple of special ones in there as well on our iTunes and SoundCloud accounts. Just search Get Into Gate, a Stargate podcast. Find us on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or you can drop us a line, getintogate@gmail.com. You can find myself on Twitter and Instagram at Mitch_Lewis. Brendan.
I'm at the Brendan Gibson on Instagram.
And Reese.
I'm at the Flying Gibson.
If only there was a fourth member of the show that could tell you where to find him on his Instagram page.
At his rod of anguish.
We'll be back next week to talk Dead Man's Switch, or is it Dead Man's Switch? I'm a little bit confused. We'll talk about it next week on Stargate Sundays with Get Into Gate. Welcome to
GetIntoGeek.com.
Shizzle.
Just cut the whole hair shit out.
I'll just read it now and then I'll
Cue,
insert
mate.
it.
Oh, what season? Was it season 4? No, I think it was season 5. Oh, it might have been season 5. No, it was season 4. Fucking good gear. Fucking tune in and listen to us argue over when Carter had fucking short hair.
Mate, people will dig it.
Slightly
Seriously.
shorter than our current
They'll be-
short hair.
They'll be sitting in their radio going, season 4, episode 30.
Absolutely.
They
They
actually will be, though.
They
That's
will.
the funny
They will.
thing.
You need that. Need
It's
that
terrible.
shit.
No, you don't. It makes you sound
Absolutely.
useless.
Hey, right in.
Especially with the
No,
experts.
Well,
No,
now we know
'cause-
how you know how we feel.
Because in season 5, the Air Force actually, told the show you're in trouble because Carter's hair is too long and they made her cut it short. So
Yeah.
Carter's hair length is the thing.
so hot.
Yeah, we'll get to the fucking point of it.